Oh, buddy. Hi. How you doing? You good, fam? What up, nerds? My name is Leslie, and welcome to the Nerdy Narrative. On this channel, I like to talk about all sorts of bookish related things, whether it be science fiction, fantasy, horror, picture books, aka comics or manga, literary fiction, short stories, classics, nonfiction. I mean, all of it. I just love to read in all of the genres and just seeing the many different ways that authors use to tell us their stories. So on today's episode of Fun, I'm going to share with you my June TBR. All the books I chose for June serve a dual purpose. The Olympics Readathon is a readathon that is hosted by the mods of the Shelf Space Discord. This readathon is open to any who want to participate, but you have to sign up by May 24th. If you miss the deadline, you miss the boat. You have to sign up by May 24th to be placed on a team in order to compete. So, down in the description box, you will find a link to the Shelf Space Discord. If you go to the announcement channel, you'll see all of the rules, plus the prompts, plus a Google Doc form you will need to click in order to sign up and be placed on a team. And the sign up is really easy. You just put your name, how many books you plan to read, and your favorite Greek god or goddess. We're going to do our very best to place you on the team of the Greek god or goddess you choose, but we do have to make sure the teams are balanced with how many books people are going to read. Also in the description box below, I'm going to have linked several recommendations videos. A lot of people who are participating in the readathon have put out recommendations for each of the 16 prompts just to give folks ideas for books that they can choose. You do not have to do all 16. You read as many books as you want to. It's not a requirement to do all 16 or anything like that. But a lot of folks took the time to come up with a list of recommendations. So everyone that I've found that has done that, I'm going to have them linked in the description down below so you can watch those. Also, you're going to see anyone from Team Snow Miser from the Reindeer Games in December. They're lying about everything except their book recommendations. They all claim to have won. They did not even place in the top 3. So don't listen to anything except for the books they recommend for the prompts. Okay, so let's get into the books that I plan to read and the prompt that they fulfill. So in the month of June, I plan to read Hitting a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick by Zora Neale Hurston. I am so excited to get back into this author's work. This was such a kind gift to me from Evie, from She Was Only Evie. It's also part of an unofficial read-along that she and I are doing. I have a link to my Discord down below in the description box. There is a channel set aside for this, so if this is one that you've been interested in reading, definitely come join us there. Ever since I read Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, I have been on a mission to just read everything I could by her. So this will be my next piece of work that I'm going to read by her. And the prompt that this fulfills for the readathon is Aphrodite, read a book with a beautiful cover. And if you don't think that's beautiful, you need your eyes checked. And another read-along that started in May that's carrying over into June is the Broken Earth Trilogy read, which is hosted by Thistle and Verse. I'm going to have her announcement video and information linked below. This is a slow read-along of the trilogy, 100 pages per week, but we will be getting into the Obelisk Gate. I love the 5th season. So I cannot wait to see where this book is going to take us. And the prompt that I am going to use this one for is Hermes, which is read a book involving travel, vacation, or quest. And next up, I'm going to be reading Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This fulfills the prompt for Dionysus, which is read a book with a red or black cover. Not only does it fulfill a prompt for the readathon, it's also the Shelf Space Book Club Pick of the Month, which I will be getting to co-host with Alan from the Library of Alexandria. I love Blake Crouch, so I fully expect to enjoy my time spent with this book. I really loved Recursion, and so many people said this one was better than Recursion, so I'm excited to see if that's the truth. Next on the list is Tagana by Guy Gavriel Kay. I am finally going to read Guy Gavriel Kay. And the only reason that this is my first choice is because I promised my friend Steven I was going to read this book. And I got it, and I never read it. And then he pranked me on April Fool's this year, and he used another book by Guy Gavriel Kay to do it, which I'm already at on my shelf because I really want to read that one. But I felt like I needed to read this one first. So Tagana is going to be used for the Athena prompt, which is read a book with political intrigue. I will also be continuing my journey to the Dark Tower with Wolves of the Calla by Stephen King. Since it has fire all over the cover here, I'm going to use it for the Hephaestus, and I probably said that wrong, Hephaestus prompt, which is read a book with fire on the cover or in the title. I cannot wait to see what this installment of the Dark Tower series is going to hold. They've all been so different so far. I'm so excited. Last month I finished Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie, but I just wasn't ready to be done in the First Law world. Well, it's a good thing because next on the list is one of the standalones from the First Law world by Joe Abercrombie, and that is The Heroes. I cannot wait to get back into this world. I know it's not going to have all the characters from First Law, but I know it's supposed to have some. And then we're going to get some new characters. I don't care. I'm just ready. I'll take whatever I can get. But the prompt that this one is going to be used for is Zeus, which is read a book that features a kingdom or patriarchy. And next on the list is the second book in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy by Timothy Zahn, and that is Greater Good. I really have wanted to read this last month, but I ran out of time, but that's fine because it comes in perfect for a prompt in the Olympics Readathon, which is Nyx. Read the last book in a series or a duology. And what we mean by last book, the last book that is out. Next on the list for June is Dark Age by Pierce Brown. We are still continuing our journey through the Red Rising series. This is a Discord-wide read-along that is hosted by the Library of Alexandria. I can't wait to see where this story goes. And then we're going to have to wait. This is the second trilogy in the Red Rising world, and the last book is not out yet. So we're going to get to the end of this one, and we'll all suffer together. And as far as the prompt that I will use this book to fulfill for the readathon, that will be Airy, which is to read a military-centered fantasy or science fiction book. I will be continuing my read-through of the Green Lantern arc that was written by Jeff Johns with the Green Lantern Omnibus 2. I will get that completed in the month of June. That will satisfy the Apollo prompt, which is to read a book in a non-traditional format, which is mixed media, graphic novel, novella, written in verse, that sort. So that'll take care of that one. I will also be reading A Drowned Kingdom by P.L. Stewart. This is a self-published debut novel. It's the first in its series, which means it will satisfy the prompt EOS, which is to read a book that is the first in a series or a duology. Next will be Voice of War by Zach Argyle. This is also the Shelf Published In pick of the month. For those of you who may not know, Shelf Published In is a Discord book club where we focus on reading self-published and independent authors only. And for the month of June, we picked Zach's book, which fits many of the prompts, but I will use that for my Hera prompt, which is to read a book featuring a queendom or matriarchy. And so when I did my patron wheel of names to see who got to pick me a book for the month of June, it landed on Ev, and she picked The Haunted Forest Tour by Jeff Strand. I actually already owned this because she recommended it to me. Probably about a year ago. So I already had that one on hand, and she's like, all right, that's the one I picked. She said it's really funny and that it would just fit perfectly in between all of the really dense books that I read. I'm really looking forward to reading it. The prompt that will satisfy for the readathon is Hades, which is to read a book with the undead or a ghost theme. I have 3 other books that are on my TBR that don't satisfy any of the prompts from the readathon. So the first one of those is Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. And while it does meet prompts, I already have books and the prompts that it meets, and you can only do 1 book per prompt. This is another standalone from the First Law world that I think this is the first one. I think it's Best Served Cold and then the Heroes, so I'll make sure and read them in the right order. And next I'll be reading Wise Blood by Flannery O'Connor. I am really excited to read this book. To date, I do not believe I've read anything by Flannery O'Connor. If I did, it was back in high school or college, and unfortunately it must not have stuck. But I honestly don't think we read anything by her. But Christy Lewis, the Codex Cantina, Noah from Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse, so many channels talk about Flannery O'Connor. So many TV shows and movies and things that I have watched have mentioned her. It would just be a quick scene where a character would be reading a book and somebody would be like, hey, what book are you reading? And they're like, so-and-so by Flannery O'Connor. And I'm like, that's a sign. I need to read this author. So I'm very excited to read this one. I do believe that the Codex Cantina and Christy Lewis and I will be having a live show discussing this book in June. More details on that as I get them. And while I'm talking about the Codex Cantina and Christy, my next and final book for my June TBR is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. This is another one I believe we will be having a live stream discussion. Of course, as I get those details, I'll share them with you. I have, of course, read other things by him, but not this one, and the premise just sounded really good. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to read it with my friends. And I think that will do it for all of the books that I plan to read in the month of June. I planned a lot. I blame the readathon. It's my fault. It's always my fault. I am super excited for June 1st to get here and to defend my title as team captain of the reigning readathon champions. Poor Alan. Alan couldn't even cheat and win. So what are you guys planning to read in June? Are you going to participate in the Olympic Readathon? Don't forget, if you want to join in the fun, make sure you visit the description box, join the Shelf Space Discord, visit the announcement channel where you can sign up using the little Google Doc form that is there. If you need any help, please message me. I will help you get to where you need to go. Whatever you need, I can help you with. Just don't forget, you gotta do it by May 24th. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope that some of the books that I'm planning to read in June are ones that you have read and loved, and you're gonna love hearing me talk about them. If there are any that I've talked about here that you would like to buddy read or join in, hit me up and let me know. Some of these are parts of readathons and buddy reads in different places, and I can get you where you need to go to join in the conversation. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button, and while you're down there, if you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button while you're there, and join me in my quest as I try to read all the books. All of them. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.